Conor McGregor nudes got leaked, Ozzy Osbourne died, and Trisha Paytas gave birth. Conor McGregor, I feel like, had the biggest fall from grace. Ozzy Osbourne recently had his final performance. This actually kind of goes into a conspiracy theory. Every time Trisha Paytas gives birth, some famous celebrity dies that day. But if you go to a public school, when dudes are named John and Daniel, and your name is Aquaman, dude, until they made it very weird. They literally hid. The guy turned around, the lady got like freaked out, she like ducked, and it was obvious to everybody that they were not supposed to be seen together, but they were. If you Google her, she looks like a talking tree.
Dude, what?
She looks like a talking tree mixed with a carpet. Did you hear about the Annabelle story that came out recently?
Y'all gotta do it if y'all wanna get it. We were born ready, yeah, and y'all gotta get it. Y'all gotta move it if y'all gonna get it. We were born ready, yeah, and y'all gotta get it. Goddamn, back to back to back to back with it. Y'all don't want it, buddy. Y'all just be
Hello world.
moving steady batting.
It's the Not So Young, Not So Lean on episode 15. I had nothing else to come up with, but we're out here. Well, we were missing for a whole week. My explanation is that ever since we came back from the camping trip, my whole schedule has just been horrible. We usually record on Sundays. We came back, and I think we recorded on like Wednesday or Tuesday.
Yeah, something like that.
And then we like it went out on a Thursday, and then I'm like, well, I'm not gonna record on whatever. Point is, I had to skip a week to just get back on track, and even now we're not recording on a Sunday. So really, we're not sticking to anything.
This is a Wednesday.
This is a Wednesday, and it's supposed to come out tomorrow. It probably won't. It'll probably be out on Friday. How you been, Igor? It's been a while since we've been here.
Yeah,
Feels
it's been
like
a while since I spoke to you last. Like an hour ago.
Well, it's been a while since we were in this chair under these lights.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just doing some reparations, walking around.
You can't say that. You can't say it. You're doing reparations, dude.
I'm walking around. When I finish my shift at the factory, I go to the bathroom, and I sneeze out like a bag of cement from each nostril. That's fun.
It's disgusting. Well, look, it's all for the zen, for the dome, bro. You're gonna be sleeping in a nice room, connecting with your inner thoughts. It's been an insane. I feel like, of course, the time we take a week off, it's when shit hits the fan, and the internet just explodes with everything that's happening. Ever since we left, Conor McGregor nudes got leaked, Ozzy Osbourne died, and Trisha Paytas gave birth.
Wait.
You
Pause.
didn't know this?
Conor McGregor's nudes got leaked?
I was at work, and my friend's like, yo, which is like, my friend at work, he's like, yo, did you see Conor's dick? I'm like, no. You know what I mean? I don't go on Twitter and look up people's, but apparently he was texting SZA, CZA, it's another artist, and he slid into her DMs on Instagram and just straight up full frontal.
Isn't he married or something?
Yup, got kids and everything.
People usually hype him up, posting pictures of him and his wife, and it's like his wife supported him when he was just a construction worker or some shit like that.
Have you kept up with like the recent years of what's going on with Conor McGregor?
I could give less of.
There were a lot of those kind of allegations. Conor McGregor, I feel like, has had the
Kitty
weirdest.
Diddler?
Huh?
Kitty Diddler allegations?
No, not like
Not
that.
that bad.
Conor McGregor, I feel like, had the biggest fall from grace. He was the guy that everybody was hyping up during his UFC time, right? The guy, whenever he has the mic at his hands, it's just magic, right? Like, he thinks quick, he makes jokes, he makes little quick jabs and stuff, and a lot of people like his mic skills. And obviously everybody knew, I think it was like D. Devlin is his wife's name. And they had that whole story, how she was with him through the rough times. And then he gets rich, and it's just story after story of this guy with all these models and these girls and allegations. And it's like, every time that happens, I don't think about him. I'm like, well, she's reading this as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His kids are going to grow up, and they're going to see this as well, that my dad was a jackass. And now you have a wife at home. And at this point, everything points to them having some kind of agreement, probably like in their marriage. I don't know, because he's not even hiding it anymore.
You think they have an open relationship?
Yeah, one way though. Only one door is open. For
I mean,
one
you never
person.
know.
Yeah, you never know, but it just
There's
feels
more
like
eyes on him than there are on his wife.
yes, but he's also just making a fool out of his wife the whole time. Every time an allegation comes up, anytime something happens, it's people talking about his wife and people talking about his kids, because that's essentially who you're putting under the fire. So yeah, his whole thing got leaked. One of the pictures, he put a little dumbbell on his
God.
glizzy.
An emoji?
Like an actual little dumbbell. It's like super. I don't want to like.
He tied it or something?
Kind of. I don't know. You could look it up at some point. Don't do it.
I
but
don't want to.
It's just weird. I think he was like drunk or something, or like under something. Those were like weird DMs, sending that to someone and just being like, "Yo, right here." But yeah, the whole Conor McGregor thing happened, and then Ozzy Osbourne died. Did you hear about this?
Oh, that I know.
Ozzy Osbourne recently had his final performance. So this actually kind of goes into a conspiracy theory. So when he died, do you know who Trisha Paytas is? She's a YouTuber,
no.
but she's like a crazy. Well, she used to be like a crazy YouTuber. Anyway, Trisha Paytas gave birth to her third kid. Every time there was this whole thing blowing up on Twitter that every time Trisha Paytas gives birth, some famous celebrity dies that day. It was like just nonsense. It's not true. Queen Elizabeth did not die the same day she had her first kid. Pope Francis or whatever did not die during the second kid. And Ozzy did not die on the same day as her third kid's birth. I don't know how this got started, but like it blew up and everybody saw it. And I actually believed it. I was like, no way. It's so funny. What makes it a little weird is she named her third kid Aquaman. And when this theory was running around that every time she gives birth, a celebrity dies, people were saying she gave birth to Aquaman while Jason Momoa, Aquaman, was at Ozzy's final show.
Okay, that's weird.
It is weird, but it doesn't mean anything anymore because, again, Ozzy didn't die the same day as, and it's literally right there. What is this Trish Paytas baby conspiracy theory? It's literally not true. But Ozzy died, and,
Wait, so she called her kid Aquaman?
Yeah, bro. Her first kid, I think, is called Barbie Malibu, I think, or something like that.
You see, I don't know what's worse. Elon Musk naming his kid whatever set of symbols, or this.
The whole naming your kid weird stuff that celebrities do, like, Stormy, I know Kylie Jenner. There are some names that obviously sound better and like a little more acceptable. And again, this is just my opinion, but when you have that kind of money and your kid will never have to like assimilate with society, they don't have to go to a public school where everybody's going to cook them for having a weird name. Because essentially her kid's going to go to school with people called like Pac-Man and like, and and like doorknob or something. Like, no, I'm saying like if you're in a classroom and everybody has a ridiculous name, it's like, what are you going to do? Who are you going to cook, really? But if you go to a public school when dudes are named John and Daniel and your name is Aquaman, dude, you're going to have a bad time, bro. Like,
the only thing I keep thinking about is that famous video of a kid getting an Aquaman action figure for Christmas. And he goes like, "Oh my God, it's Aquaman!"
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, so Igor's pulling up this apparently viral video of a kid saying Aquaman that I've never seen. Let's see it.
Oh my gosh, my favorite!
So he's getting a gift.
Aquaman!
Hey, dude, kind of iconic.
Yeah,
You will never hear somebody be so happy about Aquaman, bro. Aquaman was the laughing stock of superheroes back in the day.
This video is like 7 years old.
Beautiful.
And you've never seen it.
We need to get that kid on the show.
Ooh.
Maybe he's from Indonesia.
Ooh.
I
don't think so.
Well, the other thing that literally blew up was the whole Coldplay concert. Did you see this? Andy Byron.
The
So
CEO thing?
Andy Byron became this. I mean, he was a famous CEO of a company. I think the company is Astronomer or something like that.
Yeah, one of those.
So look, imagine this. It's a Coldplay concert, and you know how sometimes at like baseball games and basketball games they do that little camera thing where like they'll do a kiss cam or something, and it shows
like
two
a
people,
lookalike
or like a
cam.
lookalike cam, but like
Yeah.
the little cam thing. Coldplay decides to do this, and on the camera it shows two people standing there and hugging, right? Nothing weird until they made it very weird. They literally hid. The guy turned around. The lady got like freaked out. She like ducked? It was really weird. No, the lady turned around. The guy ducked, and it was obvious to everybody that they were not supposed to be seen together, but they were. Then it turns out that Andy Byron right there is a CEO, and that lady right there with him, it's the head of the HR department in that company. So obviously there's a lot to unpack here. We have a whole sandwich right here. Now it then turns out that both of them were having an affair. She's married, he's married, and the stars aligned, and Coldplay decided to expose them. Obviously, nobody could have expected the media storm that hit afterwards, but this was everywhere. This was literally everywhere. The memes keep coming, and the memes are the most salvageable part of this whole thing. The amount of memes you've seen of people hugging each other in that little circle, the little cam, I mean, honestly, very hilarious. But then I started thinking, like, can you imagine, like, your wife or your husband just found out through the internet that you're cheating on them, and, like, that's it. You're just cooked on the internet. You're going to be that guy forever. Whatever job you want to get, whatever media presence you want.
He's a CEO. I don't think he's going to want another job.
Look,
or need one.
He's fine. But then I always think about, like, obviously scumbags, but the human part of me is like, it must really suck that this is the way they got exposed. You get what I'm saying? Because there again, I don't know if she has kids. He has kids. Like, I think his kids are gonna have to look at this when they're gonna get older. I don't know how old they are. His wife has to deal with this. His whole family has to deal with this. You open the internet and it's just flooding and flooding and flooding. And to be honest with you, you gotta have some balls to like withstand this, because it's a lot. I imagine it's a lot. You have problems with your family now. You have problems at work. You have the internet. The trifecta, the holy trinity is just attacking you, and you have to just power through it, you know?
This brings up a really good question. So throughout the years, primarily recent years, there's been an influx of people getting famous over something stupid.
Right.
How do you think they managed to go back into normal everyday life after getting famous over something stupid?
People in general or them?
Just people in general. I'm not talking about them. They have a special situation. He's a CEO. I think he's well off.
Yeah.
To live the rest of his life. Even
She's
if
probably
he,
gonna
like,
be fine.
Yeah.
It's
But
a good question.
someone like Haley Welch.
Right.
I don't know how much money she made off of that crypto stuff, or like her podcast.
Enough
and so
to
on.
not be around.
But like, imagine you get famous over something like that. Something very. Wasn't she a teacher too when she said that?
That's what I remember. Either she's trying to be a teacher or she was a teacher at some kindergarten. Or
How do you
like
go
that.
back after a video like that going viral? Especially knowing that all of these kids that are in your classes, let's say you are a teacher,
Yeah.
all of these kids in your classes are chronically online.
I mean, it's the ultimate test of character, right? Are you gonna fold and be like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna hide? Are you gonna face the music? Are you gonna be like, I'm sorry, it was a joke, blah, blah, blah? I think age plays a big role with it. People our age, you get exposed for something like, and by exposed, I mean you get exposure. You're gonna try to capitalize on it. What's gonna happen? Your Instagram blows up. Your YouTube, Twitter blows up. You start getting people inviting you to a podcast, and all of a sudden you're an influencer. All of a sudden you have these, like, for some reason people made you an important, interesting person when really there's nothing behind the curtain. That's what it looks like. People like Haley Welch, again, this has been happening forever, and it goes back to the whole stop making stupid people famous. Countless people, right? We have Lil Tay, we have Wo Vicky or whatever. It's just these characters that
Cash Me Outside. How about that?
Yeah, Danielle Bregoli. Like, you have these characters that, like, they either stick around and just become noise in the background, or they make something of themselves. I think for them specifically, they're gonna be fine financially, but obviously, I imagine being an older person, you're probably never gonna like want to be around media. You're never gonna, it must suck. But for people our age, I mean, who it could go two ways, right? You get exposed and it gets so bad that God forbid you do something, or you capitalize on it and milk whatever you can for whatever stupid money. This happens
I feel
all
like
the time.
You would have to capitalize on it.
If
That's like a lottery ticket right there. If you're getting so much popularity that you got people recognizing you everywhere, your face is constantly plastered all over meme pages and videos and so on. Everybody's talking about you. You might as well take the ticket and just go through with it.
It just shows you that it's not even about quality anymore. It's literally about luck for most part, and just getting noticed. Of course, quality plays a role. You can have a steady incline through quality and just perfecting your craft. But then you're just going to see these people blow up over really stupid things. Like the Island Boys, for example, that was like a whole thing. And now the money's dried up, so it seems. And one of them's parading around his son on the internet for people to make fun of.
And the other one is like in prison or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's honestly, I think, the hateful side of me, I'm like, screw these people. But then the human side of me is like, it's sad because you give these teenagers so much money. How do you expect them to develop as people? This happens all the time, like all these rappers and stuff. It was like a perfect example. These guys became famous when they're 16, 17. Labels took them in, gave them money. What follows? Bad people, like bad surroundings, and a lot of them met a bad end. And a lot of them aren't here anymore, whether literally or, metaphorically. I guess that's just what fame does. And I guess you can't really be prepared for it either. Like, if I blew up tomorrow or something like that, I have no idea what I would do. If I'm getting like messages on Instagram and like people emailing me to do like appearances, it's like, it would be exciting, I'm sure. But then like, this is why it's important to keep your day one people with you, because how many times have we heard that it was like bad friends, bad influences.
I feel like in a situation like that, let's say you're just out of nowhere started making like thousands per day, whatever, per video you upload, you make thousands. I feel like the best case scenario, best thing you can do for yourself is to, for the next month or two, just keep living your normal life. Just keep living your normal. Don't jump straight into it, and just stick to your everyday life and then kind of think about it. This is one thing I feel like a lot of people get wrong with lotteries. Well, I've never won a lottery like that.
Oh yeah, how most of them go bankrupt.
They get the money and then just boom, instantly.
Yeah.
Yachts, parties.
Yeah. Big ass
houses and so on.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to sleep on it. You're supposed to figure it out. You're supposed to think to yourself where you want this money to go to properly. But then again, I'm speaking out of my ass because I was never in a position like that.
Well, that's the interesting part, right? Because money obviously changes people.
100%.
As like a normal person, when you read Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, and you're like, damn, you literally have so much money to change the world, right? Like, he can, if he wanted to, change the lives of some village in some like country that's poor. But that's a regular person thinking. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When you get to that point, like when I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, if somebody gave me $10 million, I'll be like, cool. These people have billions and they're like, I want more. And then you're like,
that's the thing that never made sense to me. Like, you already got all this money, but you're still greedy for more. I guess that's just human greed.
It has to be because money changes you. It has to be. I don't know what kind of explanation. You can't be born that greedy, right? You have to become that way. There's no way like somebody is born with the attributes of a billionaire. Like you have no idea how to navigate the surface when you have such power. You're surrounded by other people who have wealth, and none of like that's how they stay wealthy, right? They're not giving it away.
Yeah, literally. I mean, what about people that are born into the money?
See that like the wealthy people who have been born in money, I think a lot of the time it's just good like parenting and training. Uh, I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but just money's just evil, bro. And I'm not even on that like communist thing. Like I'm not saying we shouldn't, abolish money or anything like that. All I'm saying is that it sucks that, essentially a lot of the world's problems are because of money. Humanity just loses because of money. Like
It's greed.
if I
One of
had
the deadly sins.
if I had the money to go and build a well somewhere or like a school, why wouldn't I do it? I feel like legacy should be more important than like you can't take all that stuff with you. Your kids are set, your grandkids are set, your like next generations are set. Legacy. I would want people to build my statues in cities and stuff. I would want to change. That's what I would want to do. I would want to like build schools. I'd want to build roads. I wouldn't want to be the president or anything like that. I just want to be the guy who like makes
Just the
people
chill guy.
just makes people notice change. And then, dude, you have stuff being written about you, statues. That's legacy, bro. That's way cooler than my dad had $1 billion. Seeing like statues of your dad or like your dad did something great, that's legacy. That's gonna live forever. Your money is like, Mensa Musa and all these like kings and stuff. Who cares? Literally nobody cares. All these people had all this wealth and power, dude. Like thousands of years go by and we don't even know their name. We don't care. But guess what? If I go to a school that's named after a guy, don't know who he is, but I know that school's named after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That would have been me.
Nah, yeah. I don't know. If I had the money to like comfortably not work for a year and just go somewhere, I don't know, random village in like bumfuck nowhere, some third world country,
Yeah.
and like help out the community, I'd do it. It's cool.
See, but that's maybe it's because we're thinking like poor people.
You know what? Probably.
Dude,
That's
I'm
why
thinking
we're poor.
that's probably why, dude, because you don't think that way when you have $1 bajillion. You sit there like, I want a yacht with 16 helicopters.
You see, the problem with that is, I mean, I don't know how a lot of these people thought before they became rich, but I'm not interested in like yachts and stuff. Like, I don't care for that life.
I imagine, again, this is why I think so many of these people get caught with weird stuff is like they just get so bored. Like imagine, I'm not even talking about Elon Musk money. Like imagine $1 billion. Like what do you have? You have villas in every country. You have all types of cars. You've been literally everywhere. You have a yacht. What do you do? What do you do with your life?
But that's why, so there's this like general rule of thumb where if you make enough, like let's say, I'm not talking about $1 billion. Let's say you win $1 million in a lottery. You don't leave your job. You keep working.
Yeah.
But then you can comfortably live. You can keep working and then pay off most of your bills with that. But then you want to go on a vacation, you use it from the million.
But I could invest all of it.
Let's not go there. We're not professional investors. We do not have the certifications for that.
I took a course online. I don't know what you're talking about. I saw a guy on YouTube do it. Dude, you know what kind of ad I saw today on YouTube? It was like, I will tell you, I will teach you these tricks for free, how to read charts for free. I will give you my tips for free. I'm like, man, it used to be like, I'll do it for $1. Now I'll do it for free. Just sell me your ass.
Well, it's like, I'll give you a 2-minute brief rundown, but then if you want more, you got to pay $50.
Probably, yeah, dude.
You know, it's funny because these subscriptions for these random courses are very funny. For example, Hustlers University. You get a course how to be an alpha male and how to make money and pick up chicks.
Don't even get me started on that. I can't. What really annoys me about like Andrew Tate and all those guys is like they will sit there on a podcast and they will tell you that the problem with the world, the men are going down, birth rates are going down, society is failing, the empires are crumbling, we will cease to exist. And this is the guy who can tell you and fix things, but he needs money. Like, I don't understand how, like, how can you sit there already rich and be like, I know how to save society, but I'm just going to go on podcasts and just say, like, you know what it is? It's people pointing things out. You know how easy that is? You know how easy it is to sit back and be like, that's bad, that won't work, that's a failure, you should have done that. Anybody can do it. Criticizing is the easiest thing that you can do. Coming up with solutions, that's the hard part, right? Don't complain without a plan. That's what it should be. What happens is they're getting these kids, sending them money on Hustle University because you got to know your audience, right? You are targeting guys in schools, in life, that feel like they're losers, and you're making them feel like it's not their fault. It's the system. The system's against them. The government's against them. Society's against them. Women are against them. Like, that's what you're making them feel. And then that's just grifters. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. It's so annoying. And sometimes it's fun to listen to, right? Because, like, again, if you listen to some of these podcasts that, like, Tate is on or other grifters and stuff, right? Sometimes they have a point to certain things, right? They're not, like, just idiots, because obviously, like, they wouldn't be where they're at if they're complete idiots. But the point is like, they're very smart in the way they navigate. And again, if you're sitting there positioning yourself as the guy who can save the planet and save the youth, right? You're talking about saving men and helping men, but then you're scamming men. Like, how does that, like...
You're talking about all these kids gooning left and right, but then you were running cam girl websites.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, you're...
Fucking idiot.
Dude, oh my god. You know, it's actually interesting you bring this up. When I have this thing constantly on my Facebook, and I've showed this to my coworkers. I'll be on Facebook and I barely sit on Facebook. My Twitter is crazy because I'll like crazy stuff. So then the algorithm on Facebook is like, I'm liking my grandma's pictures or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, I'm liking video game stuff. I kept getting this girl recommended to me. Her name is Shanin Blake.
Whoa.
Listen. Her name is Shanin Blake, okay? If you Google her, she looks like a talking tree.
Dude, what?
She looks like a talking tree mixed with a carpet. There's just too much going on. There's like barely a face there. She's all orange. She looks like an Oompa Loompa that became tall. Now, her videos, she sings, okay? She has a bunch of singing videos. She sits in her little RV, and she's like zen, and she's all about like self-love. Now, I'm getting these videos constantly recommended to me. She's singing, and then I'm like, who is this? And guess what? I look her up. Of course she has an OnlyFans.
Don't get me started with that.
Of course she has an OnlyFans, dude.
OnlyFans detected, opinion rejected.
I don't know, dude. I don't want to sound like a old fart, really. I really don't care what people do with their bodies and stuff. Like, free country, do what you want, honestly. But I feel like you are just damaging your soul at that point. There has to be, you are paying with something. And if it's not literally, it must be emotionally or spiritually, because there's no way. You are selling yourself online, and this isn't just about her. This is about people doing this. And just to get something clear, I don't even blame people who have an OnlyFans. I blame people who promote it and who buy it, because that's just being part of the problem. You have generations of girls now and guys who have OnlyFans pages, and I don't know, man. It's we spoke about this a little bit before, but when you look up birth rates and just society going down as a whole, maybe there isn't anything connected, but I feel like it's because just nothing family related is promoted anymore. Like, we live in a society, and I really hate getting this like philosophical, because I know some people who watch this who are like smarter than me about this, and they're probably going to look at me like I'm a jackass saying this, but it feels like we live in a society now where we are promoted to leave the home as soon as we become 18. You become 18, you want to leave the house, you want to go as far away from your parents, you want to start from the bottom and work your way up slowly. Obviously, in the system that exists now, it's very difficult, right? In New York, you're not going to just go live alone. It's very difficult. And I don't understand how this happened. In the past, it was like you live with your parents for a little bit. Sometimes families would buy a big house. They would try to grow wealth together. They would try to branch out, bigger families, grow more wealth. Like, there wasn't this whole, like, you need to leave and you need to be alone. Now, it's like you need to leave and be alone. And what happens? You leave, you're alone, you get depressed. You don't speak to your friends or family as often. You're alone. You become sad. Bills are crushing you. Work is crushing you. You can barely survive in a New York apartment on pay. And you become a miserable person is what it feels like. I know this isn't true for everybody. There are people who thrive. There are people who do well when they're away from family. And sometimes their relationships with families become better through distance. And obviously I'm not talking about people who come from like broken homes and just bad family situations. Like, of course, I'm talking about ideally people who come from like normal families that function fine together. It's weird. I don't understand like why this happens. And again, don't want to get too philosophical, but people we're losing the soul, man. That's what it is. I have friends who have OnlyFans, and I'm like, I don't even know what to talk to you about. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, why did you go down this path? And I honestly swayed my opinion. I used to be all for it. I used to be like, yeah, do it, man. Like, scam these guys. Like, do it. But then I'm like, nah, dude, there's a payoff. You give something. It's not just you sit there and collect this money. You're giving something. You're selling yourself. And look, when you're 20 or whatever, you might not feel it, right? Because it's like, who cares? You're just having fun. It catches up with you, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know for a fact because I'm only like 27. I have no idea how I'm going to feel when I'm 45. But it must feel weird when you're a 45-year-old person or 50-year-old person and your history is you selling yourself. It has to feel weird. You would never wish, and that's the other thing, right? You would never wish it for your kids either. When you have a kid, you would never wish for your kid to grow up and do what you did. There's a conspiracy theory lingering here somewhere, but we're gonna
discover it. The problem nowadays is it's very easy to reach graphic content. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's loads of it for free. There's loads of it that you buy, but it's very easy to reach. And like before, you would have to use your imagination sometimes a little more with the skin mags. But now you get the whole video on your phone in your palm at any moment you want. And like that just pushes more of those videos to be created, which pushes more people to be addicted to them.
There's no way there's been enough studies done either. Over the past 20 years, the effect that it has on like young men, for example, because I'm just gonna go on the limb and say that men probably access this kind of
on emotional health,
everything. Like you have to imagine that. I mean, again, dude, all these websites, it's like, are you 18? Press yes. It's like, yes, but most people.
There was a state that was trying to do it.
There's a lot of states that started banning it.
Not banning it, but it's like, we're going to have to require you to create an account
with ID
and submit your ID.
Yeah, but then people start freaking out when they hear that you got to like prove your identity. They're like, "Ooh, this is Big Brother watching you. This is how it starts." And then it all goes to hell.
And then all of these companies and these websites
Collecting
start freaking out No. These companies and these websites start freaking out because now they have a lot less customers from that specific place coming in. And they're
Oh
like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah,
we're
yeah. Of
missing
course.
a big chunk of our people.
Why would? Yeah, you would never, unless you're forced by the government. You would never do that.
100%. Why would you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. One day I would love to have a representative here who can tell me their side of the story. I would love to talk to my friend who has an OnlyFans. I want to like dig inside her head and be like, what happened? Um, did you hear about the Annabelle story that came out recently?
The guy that was on tour with Annabelle died.
Yeah. So Dan Rivera, he was on tour with the Annabelle doll around the U.S. Now, he's a paranormal investigator. At this point, when I hear that, it kind of sounds like you're part of the Scooby-Doo gang. I don't even know what that means. Like, you're a paranormal investigator. And he was on tour with the Annabelle doll. They stopped in Pennsylvania, and Dan was found by his colleagues or friends in a hotel room unresponsive. Now, the doll was not there. This happened recently, so there's no autopsy. They're saying there's no foul play. The doll was not in the room because obviously most people would jump to the conclusion that the doll's in the room. It was the doll. Obviously, probably a coincidence, but you must wonder a little bit. You must wonder,
A ghost real.
did something happen? Because that doll is tied to a few incidents where people became unalived. And it just sparks the debate, right? What's the odds that this paranormal investigator was touring around with his doll and this is the untimely end that he met? It's pretty creepy. But I also don't. Why would you go on a tour with this doll? What's the
Money. You get paid to do it. I can imagine a lot of people want to see it because of the movies, because of the lore. A lot of people are big fans of like horror and demonology in general.
very good? So then, my next question is this: if you truly believe that these things exist, demons exist, ghosts exist, and this doll is possessed by some kind of demon who in the past has caused harm, why would you want to capitalize on it? And you're a paranormal investigator, you must not really believe it then. Why would you even take it
Maybe he
out?
was sure that it was properly secured.
Still, I'm sure, like, it has to be like a money grab. I don't know.
Those paranormal investigators are very brave men and women because I would never. Someone tells me there's a house right there and it's haunted by this demon child. I'm like, okay, I'm not going there.
I would want to see it, but I wouldn't
A
want to.
demon child?
No. I'd want to see the Annabelle doll, like, in person.
You should hold it. Bring it home.
Well, see, I wouldn't go that far.
Why
I would
not?
want to see it though.
Why, I thought you don't believe in ghosts.
I don't, but it's like
That's not a ghost. That's a demon.
it's kind of like you don't believe it, but then when you get got, you're like,
I should have.
you're like, really, dude.
Well,
of all things,
we're gonna test it out when we do that little interesting surprise video.
what's the surprise video?
The Ouija board video.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We are. Oh my God.
We're supposed to do it last week, from what I remember,
Yeah.
plans wise.
I mean, man, I'm telling you, everybody I talk to about this kind of stuff, I'm like, I have so many plans. I have no idea when to even do them. I have no idea when to plan it. I don't know who. I want to make like a little short movie as well with the camera I got. Like, I think it would be cool. But again, a lot of it's planning and then actually executing it. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm planning. Hopefully it all comes to fruition. Dude, it reminds me. Remember how we spoke about Emily Armstrong and about Scientology a little bit?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you know this, but South Park.
Okay.
You've watched South Park.
Of course.
You know the character Chef?
Yes.
Early seasons. He's like,
yeah.
hello, children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Isaac Hayes was the voice of Chef. He was in Scientology. And there was this whole thing for years and years and years of people who are fans of South Park that the reason Isaac Hayes left the show was because there was an episode where they kind of made fun, not kind of, they really made fun of Scientology. It was a funny episode. Tom Cruise is in it. It's like a bunch of people, and they're making fun of Scientology, and he left, and then shortly after, I think he suffered a stroke, and there were a lot of rumors because there was a statement I think put out that was like him being upset with the South Park creators for doing that episode because of Scientology, and it's his belief. So a lot of fans for many years believed that was just they split because of that. They made fun of Scientology. Isaac Hayes leaves, and then an untimely, thing happens. His son recently, Isaac Hayes III, gave an interview. And in the interview, he said this thing where he said, Isaac Hayes didn't quit South Park, Scientology did. So in the interview, he talks a little bit about that when his father suffered the stroke, he was left, he couldn't speak, and he also couldn't make choices, his decisions. So he had aides, he had people around him, obviously, in the Scientology circle. And his son is essentially saying that those people were the ones who ran with this whole thing and put out the statement that he left because of South Park and what they said about Scientology. And this is just something important for people to understand, is like, I mean, Scientology is just weird in general. It's creepy. You know what I mean? You can't get any closer to a cult trying to become an actual religion than that.
Well, we've spoken about this. Religions tick off a lot of the
cult checkboxes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. They do. And that was my whole point about Emily, was that, when people were like, no, we don't like her because she's involved with Scientology. It's like, you don't understand. Like, a lot of these people who are deep in Scientology or have family there, it's so difficult to get out of it. It's so hard to it's kind of like coming up to a Catholic person who's been in church their whole life, or a Christian or a Muslim person or any religious person, and being like, oh, why can't you just leave? Or like, why can't you just stop believing? It's like, that's their life. They devoted their life to learning this, to practicing this.
Someone who says just stop believing is the same exact person that will tell you just stop being depressed.
Yeah. It's just so easy from the side. Just be like, just stop. What do you mean?
You need a serious push for you to be able to change your worldview so much to stop believing in something you've believed in for ever since you've been born in some cases.
Yeah,
in most cases.
I mean, that's the crazy part, right? Because the same way that a lot of kids are born and their parents get them into church, they get them into their sacred texts and stuff, is the same way you could get indoctrinated into a cult. Not even talking about Scientology, but it's the same way. You get influenced, you get persuaded, you start believing it, and belief is the strongest weapon somebody has. So that was an interesting one, because for the longest time, I knew about that story about Isaac Hayes, and I think most South Park fans are probably a little shocked at it. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. But speaking of South Park, I had it's on a lighter note. I had a very ridiculous 7-Eleven encounter today. So I went to 7-Eleven. I bought a cheese stick, salt and vinegar chips, and a vanilla Coca-Cola. I know.
Breakfast of champions.
Yeah, that's right there, dude. Just trying to build up the tweaker physique. So I come up to, listen to this. I come up to the cash register, right? This lady's scanning, and I'm looking at the terminal, and I'm looking at it, and I'm waiting for it to be like, scan your card. So I'm standing there with my phone, nothing's happening. So the lady looks at me and goes, not today? I'll look at her, I'm like, what? She's like, not today? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I see on a big ass screen, it's like, would you like to donate $1? And it's like, not today. Dude, she tried to peer pressure me into donating $1.
Wasn't there a South Park episode
yeah,
about the
when
donating
Randy
stuff?
was in Whole Foods.
It was terrible.
Dude, so she goes, not today? So I go, not today. And I click the button and I pay my $8.50, bro.
If I want to donate to a
No
good
way.
charity, I'll go to their website and I'll donate to a good charity. I don't know where it's going from. These cash registers at random places. And it's like, would you like to donate $1?
Dude, they're
no.
they're funding the rhino pills.
Don't get me started on the rhino
I,
pills.
if I ever blow up, dude, if I ever become famous and I don't have I have a lot to gain and a lot to lose, I would take one of those just to like see what's going on, dude. Cause there's no way those rhino pills have been in business for so long. They've been around for so long.
I've yet to meet a person who has taken one.
Dude, you probably blink and like you wake up next week. Dude, all that blood rushing, you're like there's no way, dude. I really like I was in the Upper East Side today, and let me tell you something. The bums, I'm sorry, that's rude. The homeless people they're getting sophisticated, bro. I was going to this deli because I wanted to get water, and I see this guy in a suit standing in front of the door. So I'm like, okay, they got a security guard because probably people were stealing or something. It's Manhattan, so like the delis have that kind of money. So I'm walking up. The guy's looking at me, big dude. He got a nice tux on, and he hits me with, "Hey, bro, can you buy me a coffee?" And I go,
Dude,
he got me, bro.
So we used to, in high school, we used to leave and we would all go to this train station and all the kids would go there. Everybody was chill next to this train station. There was a couple delis there. And there was always this homeless guy walking around who looked like...
Oh,
No. He would walk around and he would walk up to people and be like, "Can I get $1.50?" And then it's like one
the crispy
time,
voice.
and then one time my boy he's like, "I'm not gonna give you money, but if you want, I'll buy you something to eat."
I said $1, bitch.
The guy walks in with him into the store, and my friend's like, "Here, I'll get you this." He's like, "No, I don't want that." He's like, "Okay, what do you want?" He's like, "I don't know." Starts looking around, gets it, whatever. Not the point of the story. A week later, we see this dude walking around in a full suit talking on an iPhone.
Oh, dude, that's a classic.
And it's just like, come on, really? Well, like a suit, like nicely dressed, hair nicely done, talking on an iPhone as if he's working in a bank or something. Whereas a week before, he was wearing like ripped short with like shorts that barely like cover his anything.
Dude, I realized it's clipped when I was in Manhattan. And these guys were like, "Could I get $1?" And I'm like, "Sorry, I only got a card." And they go, "We got a card reader." I'm like,
"Wait, what?
You've never seen this?"
No.
Dude, they've been carrying card readers for a while, dude.
That's insane.
They'll hit you with I got a Cash App. It's crazy.
So near my house, they would sometimes walk. So not near, well, in my vicinity, there's a gas station there. And there was a guy I was seeing for like a month straight. He would walk around with an empty jerry can. And then he'd be like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I live far in Long Island. I don't have enough money to fuel up my car. Here's like my jerry can. I'm trying to fill it up. My car is like over there. Can you spare some change and stuff?" And at one time, he walks up to me and I'm like, "Look, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to the store. I would give you something, but I didn't manage to finish. I literally had no cash on me left because I was coming back from a supermarket and I paid with a card." And this guy's like, "But what? Everybody always says but. And that got me so tight. I look at him.
You told him something?
I look at him. I'm like, "Dude, I've seen you here for a month straight.
You trying to get home for a month?"
And that was the only thing I said to him. He lowered his head and walked away.
He's like, "Oh, damn, you're right."
And like, he literally, like, why would you start?
He hits you with the, "What year is it?"
Why would you start being aggressive? Like, you're walking around begging for money.
Because he thinks he's going to pressure you into doing it. That's why.
And then he got hit with the, "I've seen you here for a month."
And then he hit you with the Uno reverse card. "I seen you here for a month too."
Nah, and like, it would have been better of him to say like, "Oh no, like this is my first time here."
Yeah.
Instead, he just admitted and walked away.
He didn't want the kissies. On that note, could you guys please spare $1 for the podcast? We're trying to upgrade. Nah.
What are we upgrading? Are we getting me a mic?
We're getting me a new me. What's it called? It's been good to be back. Still so much to talk about. I feel like I didn't cover all the topics, but it's been real.
We didn't cover any of the topics.
We covered a lot of topics.
That's
This was
crazy.
such a educational podcast. I hope everybody took notes. There's going to be a lecture next week and then a quiz following week. So please stay tuned. Remember to subscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe again, just for the algorithm to know we matter. And yeah, send this to your friend who has an OnlyFans. Do that. Cleanse their soul, dude. Let them know what's happening in the world.
Are you gonna send this to your friend who has a
Nope.
Why not?
Hell no, dude.
Cleanse their soul.
I am not starting. Oh no, I'm not starting this conversation. One day she's gonna pull up and be like, "I heard you're talking shit," and I'll be like,
Come on the podcast then.
"I didn't say nothing." I'm gonna be like,
Two-face caught in the mirror.
"God in the mirror." Thank you so much from me and Ronaldo McDonaldo, and
me.
we'll see you next week. Hopefully, we'll be recording on Sunday and get the show back on the road. Muchas gracias, afición.
Back to back to back to back with it. Y'all don't want it, buddy. Y'all just be capping and the moving steady batting, but y'all can't hit it. Y'all was born rats and